Hello. Hi. Well, here I am again. Another video about my legacy. So, let's start. It's not easy for me to do these videos. Going back, um, it has been also a therapy for myself. Learn how to forgive and try to leave the past in the past. So, it's another lesson that you guys have to understand, accept, embraced, you know, is we can you can't live in the past. You have to move on. So before I start, because the last one when I finished, I said that I would talk about I stopped on Camilla's on Naina's birthday, because Camilla birthday would be a little more complicated because the situation was more complicated. Yeah. So before I got to that point, I'm gonna explain something that I haven't said on the other ones. On Anna's birthday, I don't remember much about it because I was nervous and they gave me some medication to make me calm down. So I just remember they told me that was a girl, because on this time in those days, to do the scan was a little more complicated. Not It was not that common, not easy. So I didn't know what sex the baby was. So when she arrived, then I knew it was a girl. But then I went for deep sleep, and then I didn't even feed her anytime, because after about couple of hours after she was born, she was taken to another hospital because she was not feeling well. So they have to do blood transfusion on her. So I went home and she went to another hospital. So I don't remember much after her birthday. Rodrigo one, I was very, very depressed because I was by myself. I went to the hospital alone to have Rodrigo. I didn't have any companion. I didn't, and no one was waiting for me. No one was by my side, so I was by myself. So I was absolutely um, in a very, very stress state of mind. So when I went to the labor room, they gave me after the injection on the back because all my kids was cesarean. And when they started the procedure, they gave me a sedative. So I passed away. I slept for 24 hours. In the back of my brain, they told me that was a boy when I was in that stage of. So somehow in my memory, when I wake up in the next day, I knew it was a boy because they told me when they were having giving the procedure. Even I was a little out of mind, but then after the procedure, I just kaput. So I saw Rodrigo about nearly 24 hours after the delivery. So they feed him on the nursery, because they have in Brazil, they don't keep the children with the mother, they keep in the nursery. So they feed him there, they done everything. So I saw him 24 hours after. When Naina was born, I nearly died because my blood pressure started to get too low, 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 low. Uh, so they have to keep me awake. And my friend that was one of the doctors, he was by my side and he was saying, "Miriam, keep with me. Miriam, keep with me." Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. But it was very hard not to close my eyes because I just want to go. The feeling was so nice, the feeling of, oh God, I'm gone now. I'm going now. But no, he was pushing me to stay, stay, don't go, don't go. So yes, that was my experience on the. So when I was going to hospital to have Camila, I knew what's gonna happen to me. I knew what would be, I knew all the procedures because I had three cesareans before, so I knew that it's gonna be. So on the way to the hospital, I told my ex-husband, "Okay, if I die, take care of the kids. Give to my mom, please, because I know you are not gonna have a, condition to raise them up. So give to my mom. My sister will take care of the baby." I made all the plans. I said, look, the schools are paid until the end of the year because I had her on October. So I did everything before. I worked until the last minute, to have her. So when I was going to hospital, I said to him, look, everything is is already prepared. So if I died, so you know what to do. Um, I gave all the instructions just in case because I knew. So it was very hard. Her delivery was very hard. I I was not alone that time, thanks God. I had my friend with me because I asked her to stay with me, but she arrived in the hospital after I got inside. So the doctor came out and said, "Look, she's very nervous. She's very stressed. Someone has to be with her." And he asked my ex-husband. My ex-husband said, "No, I'm not gonna go. You are not close anyway." So my friend said, "No, I go, I go." And then she went and stayed with me. The result of her staying with me is I was with her hands on my hands all the time. And at next day, her hands was completely swelled. It was bigger and bruised because I was, pressing it so much. And she stayed about 2 days with a very painful hand. So that's the way. But did it, in this time they didn't give me anything. I was awake because I had someone by my side. So it was perfect. It was. Poor girl, poor friend of mine. She's still my friend until today. Adriana, her name. I love her to bits. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. She's so sweet. And she's in Brazil anyway. So her name is Adriana Duarte. Okay. If in the future someone wants to contact, and yeah, her name is Adriana Duarte. So, but before get to that point of the delivery, let's start before. Um, I had something to say that is very private, but I think you should know to understand my my point of view after later on when this my story continues in the future in the next videos. I'm gonna state about it. Let me say something and remember it later, okay? Every pregnancy that I had was something unusual, to say the least. First, Anna, I had just one intercourse with my ex-husband, just one, and I got pregnant of her. Rodrigo, I got pregnant uh, 1 month after Anna was born, and the only sex I had with him, because I didn't have any during my pregnancy, and I had one, and then I got pregnant, and no one. So, and Naina, I was without having intercourse with him for more than 2 years, and the only one I had in 2 years, I got pregnant of Naina. And Camila was the worst one because I didn't have any sex after I got Naina, nothing. And then when Naina was about 6 months, 6 to 7 months, my ex-husband decided to go to visit his sister, and I told that story. Yeah, he didn't came back, and then I went to Brazil and stay with my mom, spent Christmas there, New Year's, and then at the in January I went to visit him in that place, and then I got pregnant because I was trying to save my marriage. I was not trying to get pregnant because I thought it was impossible, you know, because I was taking pills and all the time, so I thought it was not possible. So as I was trying to save the marriage, I was trying to have a normal relationship. I did this one, and I got pregnant about with Camille again. I didn't knew I was pregnant. As I said before, I went to the doctor, and then here you go. I went to do this scan, and and I was already 4 months pregnant to five. That's so much that the doctor said it's a girl, you know, because it was already showing the sex of the baby. So it was the shorter pregnancy I had. So she was born, but before it, I talked to God and say, look, I don't have control of my body. You are controlling my body. So please give me a place so I can raise up my kids. And then he gave me his mother bought a house for us, and we moved to that house. And then it was when Camila was born. So it was very nice. It was a very good house, 3 bedrooms, and so Anna and Naina was sharing a bedroom, and Rodrigo and Camila, the baby, the other bedroom, and I had mine living room. Then I managed to extend the house. I had um, another little living room where the kitchen was, and then I built a bigger kitchen, and a back I managed to do a back area, cover back area, and the front, and I plant a lot of things, so I had a very nice house. I was planning to be in that house until my kids were growing up, etc. But uh, he was not that, my ex-husband was not that stable person. So he decided to go to Brasilia and leave me again alone in Goiânia. So he went to a small, um, you call dormitory city of Brazil. It was not in Brazil itself. It was farther away, about 1 hour and a half from Brasilia or more. But it's called the city because people work in Brasilia, in the capital, and sleeping in that city. So he moved there, and he spent about 6 months going back coming and going, coming and going. And but because he was not that responsible, he stopped paying the because you did when you buy houses like this, you still paying the bank, yeah. And he was not paying, so I didn't know that. I didn't know. And when he told me, he said, "Oh, I have to sell the house." And I said, "No, you can't sell the house." He said, "Yeah, I have to sell the house because otherwise the bank is gonna." So I lost the house. Of course, my grandmother was my mother-in-law was very upset with me because I haven't said to her what was going on. But he he said that if I told him his mother, he would be very upset with me. So I was, trying to accommodate situation. So I didn't told her, and then here we go. I lost the house that I work on, you know, and then we moved to that place, that a small place in nearby Brasilia, and it was the worst time of my life. It was really very hard. We spent 1 year and a half in that place, and I never cried so much as I cried there, because in that place I realized that my marriage will never work out, because he didn't want to work out the relationship. So he lost all the money of the house, the selling of the house. He was involving himself with a very bad people, and I have to support the house. I have to support the kids working very hard, and because I left all my because I had a lot of clients, and I lost all of it. And so I was not able to sew in there, because that was I had a atelier of sewing. So that's why I was supporting my kids. So when we moved to that place, I didn't have this. So I was not able to work as a normal work. So I was doing every single type. I had a little shop. I tried a little shop. I did open market. Was working open market. I bought a pit dog. Do you know the hot dog? Little cars. I did all types. I had to find a way of making money, and then I started working the radio, also doing programs in the radio. So it was nearly 2 years of very intense and different tryings of making support my family and my kids. So it was not easy. It was not easy. And many times I thought in leaving. For two times I walk out and said I'm not gonna come back, because he was very abusive, and saying things that, very hurtful things. So, but because of my kids, I stayed, and because I had a lot of friends that was trying to help me also. And it when I gave up completely my marriage. And I had a friend, old friend from when I was kid. Our family was friends before. Then I found him in Brasilia, so he was very helpful to me. He helped me a lot, not just emotionally, but financially also. So yes, it was complicated time. So it's when I said to my ex-husband, if you don't go to Europe, or if you don't go trying to find a way of living, I will do myself. I'm gonna go to Europe. Um, I'm gonna go to Europe, or I'm gonna try to go to Canada or wherever. But I'm not gonna stay here. I can stay because it's not possible, because of our kids, etc. Because he was doing things that, if my kids, you anyway, they have consequences of this marriage. Okay, all of them. Some have a little more, some a little less, but every one of them has some, um, problems, some, that they have to heal inside themselves. So yes, it's not easy to talk about these things, but it's good for me because they are, healing myself also. So yeah, my babies, uh, that is what happened. So he decided to he decided to go. Okay, he decided to go. And then I sold all my furniture to have some money to support myself when he was out, until he managed to take to to send money for us. And so I sold my furniture, everything that I did. The only thing I didn't sold was my sewing machine, because I knew I would have clients, in my mom's house. Then I moved to my mom's house again. This time I moved with 4 kids. When I moved to her house before, I just have Anna, and then I had Rodrigo. But now when I moved back to my mom's house, I had 4. But my mom was very good. My father was very good. They opened their hearts. They took me in with my 4 kids. And my ex-husband went to what's the name, uh, to Belgium, because he had some friends in Belgium. So he went to Belgium, and then I didn't hear from him from about 8 9 months. I didn't have any news about him. I didn't know what he was doing. Nothing. I was in my mom's house working. You know, my kids were in school. It was a very good time for them. Yeah, to the only time they had, actually, with my mother and my father. And then about 9 months after he went to Belgium, I had the news from him. He was not in Belgium anymore. He was in England, because in Belgium didn't work out. So he came to England, and he said that he'll send us the tickets for us to go. My father didn't want me to come. My father said, "Look, Miriam, you have been going after him for many times and didn't work out. I don't think he's telling you the truth. I think he's just um, making stories for you to go again with him." But I was trying so hard to make my marriage work. Even have given up inside myself many times. I still had that hope that somehow it worked. Probably in another country it will work. And I really thought in staying in Brazil, not coming to England. I really thought it seriously. But he was very persuasive. So one day, by January, no, after that, very after that, about May, beginning of May, he told me that the tickets were arriving for us to go in June. So he sent the tickets. So I felt that I didn't have another option than go live in Brazil and come to. My father was so upset. My mother also. My mother was more supportive, but my father was completely against it. So much so that when you left the house, he was so upset that he fainted and they have to take him to the hospital because he knew it was not going to be easy for me. My father had a very, very big problem with my ex-husband. I remember that when I moved to my with the kids before he left to Belgium, my father nearly beat him. My mom interfered. My mom was the one to be between them. And yes, that's the story. And then we arrived in England, me and my four kids, at 24 of June of 1994. Me trying again to, you know, to rebuild my relationship. That's how we end up in England. Something that I don't wanna talk about it here is my ex-husband's problems apart from what I have said already. But the real problem, the real issue, I'm not gonna say because it's very private to him, and I don't wanna, say anything that. If one day he wants to decide to do a video and talking about his life and talking about what really was the problem, that didn't make us relationship work out, then you say. But I'm not gonna say it. The only thing that I know for sure, he never loved me. He never loved me. It was convenient for him to have a wife and to have kids. It was convenient. It's convenience, not love, not desire to have a family. It just happened. It just happened for him. Not for me, but for him, yes. Just, it was just one step, not a commitment. So something that you guys have to learn is commitment is the base of any relationship. If you don't commit yourself, don't get involved because who suffers is gonna be your babies, your kids, and this reflect on your grandchildren also. So be careful, okay? Relationship, bringing kids, bringing children to the planet is serious. It's not joke. So serious that I am here, by myself, trying to make it work with my kids because I'm responsible for them emotionally, spiritually, not financially, but it's emotionally, spiritually. Now they are helping me, but I was the one to help them before, so makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because it's another chapter. England. Oh dear, 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 dear. Camila was 5 years old. Naina she was already 7. Okay, she was already 7 when you arrived here. She was 7 2 months before. Anna was 12 and Rodrigo was 11 when you arrived in England. Okay, saying that, I'm gonna say bye bye. See you next video. Okay, bye bye.